My girlfriend told her therapist, I'm planning to claim he hit me if he ever tries to leave during the session. The therapist called me afterward. Apparently she's legally obligated to warn potential victims. I got security cameras installed and a restraining order. She's now under investigation for filing false reports. 28 male, never thought I'd be writing something like this at 2 a.m., but here we are. My hands are still shaking a bit, not from fear or anger, just disbelief. Like when you finally see the whole picture and realize you've been living in someone else's fiction. So Rachel, we'd been together 3 years. Met at a friend's housewarming party. She spilled red wine on my shirt. We laughed, exchanged numbers. Classic meet cute, right? She was beautiful, smart, worked in marketing, had this way of making you feel like you were the only person in the room when she talked to you. The first year was perfect. Like, disgustingly perfect. We moved in together after 8 months. She decorated our apartment with plants I somehow managed to keep alive. We had Sunday morning routines, coffee, farmer's market, lazy afternoons. I was planning to propose soon, had even started looking at rings. Then her therapist called me. It was a Wednesday afternoon, around 3 p.m. Unknown number. Almost didn't answer. Is this Marcus Chen? Professional voice, careful tone. Yeah, who's this? My name is Dr. Patricia Reeves. I'm calling regarding Rachel Morrison. You're listed as her emergency contact. My heart dropped. Is she okay? What happened? She's fine. However, I need to speak with you about something concerning that came up in our session today. Are you somewhere private? I stepped out of the office, found a quiet spot in the stairwell. Yeah, what's going on? Mr. Chen, I'm bound by confidentiality, but I have an ethical obligation when I believe someone may be in imminent danger of substantial harm. Rachel made statements today indicating she plans to make false allegations against you if your relationship ends. She specifically described planning to claim domestic violence and mentioned she's been documenting what she called evidence for several months. The stairwell suddenly felt very cold. She actually said this? I cannot share exact words, but the threat was specific and credible enough that I'm ethically required to warn you. This is an unusual situation. Typically, we warn about threats of physical violence, but given the potential severe consequences of false allegations, I felt compelled to reach out. I strongly advise you to consult with an attorney immediately. What do I even do with this? Document everything. Consider legal counsel. And Mr. Chen, please be very careful how you proceed. These situations can escalate quickly. After we hung up, I sat in that stairwell for probably 20 minutes, just processing. Rachel was at work, would be home around 6, 3 hours to figure out what the hell to do. First thing, I called my brother. He's a paralegal, knows the system. Get cameras, today. But check your state laws first. Some states require consent from all parties for recording. Even in my own home? Depends on the state and where you put them. Common areas are usually okay if you're on the lease. But audio recording might be different. Also, save that voicemail from the therapist. Back it up everywhere, and whatever you do, don't be alone with her. I looked up the laws. My state allowed video recording in common areas without consent as long as you had a legal right to be there. Audio was trickier, but I could work with video. I left work early, bought a camera system from Best Buy. Nothing fancy, just enough to cover the main areas. Set them up while she was still at work. Felt like I was in some weird spy movie installing cameras to protect myself from my own girlfriend. She came home at 6:17. I remember because I was watching the camera feed from my phone while sitting in my car outside. Hey babe. Her voice carrying through the thin walls. Marcus. I waited another 10 minutes before going in. Needed witnesses to know I arrived after her. Texted my brother, going in now. If you don't hear from me in an hour, call. Hey, I said, keeping my distance. She was in the kitchen, making dinner like everything was normal. There you are, how was your day? She came over for a kiss. I turned slightly, let it hit my cheek. Her eyes narrowed, just for a second. You okay? Yeah, just tired. We ate dinner mostly in silence. She kept trying to start conversations, but I couldn't engage. How do you sit across from someone you've shared a bed with for 3 years, knowing they're planning to destroy your life? Marcus, what's wrong? You're being weird. Just work stuff. She reached for my hand. I pulled back. Okay, seriously, what the hell? Rachel, I think we need some space. Wrong thing to say. I know that now. Her face changed. Not dramatically, just this subtle shift, like a mask adjusting. What do you mean, space? I'm going to stay with my brother for a few days, just to think. Think about what? Her voice was very calm. Too calm. Us, everything. I just need some time. She stood up slowly. You're breaking up with me? I'm not. I just need space too. The plate hit the wall before I could finish. Not thrown at me, at the wall beside me, but close enough. You don't get to leave me. I stood up, hands visible, backing toward the door. Rachel, please calm down. Don't you dare tell me to calm down. She grabbed another plate. I kept my hands visible, speaking clearly. Rachel, I'm leaving now. We can talk when you're calmer. If you walk out that door, I'll call the police. Tell them you hit me. There it was. Rachel, please don't do this. Do what? Tell them the truth? That you've been hurting me? That's not true and you know it. She laughed, actually laughed. Who are they going to believe? I've been documenting everything. Every fight, every time you accidentally grabbed me too hard. I've never hurt you, Rachel. No? What about that bruise on my arm last month? The one you gave me? The one from kickboxing that you posted about on Instagram? Silence, the kind that makes your ears ring. I deleted those posts, and I have photos, date-stamped photos. Rachel, your therapist called me. I know about your plan. Her face went white. She can't do that. That's illegal. She said she had an ethical obligation to warn me. That's not how it works. She can't just violate confidentiality like that. Rachel, I'll sue her. I'll have her license revoked. She can't. I'm leaving now. We can talk later when you're calm. Please don't go. Please. I love you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I left anyway. The cameras caught her throwing things for another hour. Then she called. 43 times, left voicemails oscillating between tears, rage, and terrifying calm. You think you can just leave? After everything I've done for you? Please come home. I'm sorry, we can work this out. I'll ruin you. You know I can. Baby, please, I need you. Your boss is gonna get some interesting photos tomorrow. That last one made me call a lawyer that night. Update 1. It's been 2 weeks since my original post. Figured I owed you all an update since my inbox has been blowing up. First, thank you to everyone who told me to get a lawyer immediately. Saved my ass. So after the voicemail about my boss, I hired an attorney. Not cheap, but my brother knew someone who did payment plans. First thing she said, file for a restraining order. Today. I had the therapist's voicemail, the security footage, Rachel's threatening messages. Thought it would be straightforward. It wasn't. See, while I was gathering evidence, Rachel was busy too. She'd gone to the police the morning after I left, told them I'd been emotionally abusive for months, that she was scared, that she needed protection from ME. I found out when I went to file my restraining order. The clerk's face when she pulled up my name. Sir, there's already an order filed. You're named as the respondent. My lawyer earned every penny that day. We filed an emergency counter motion, submitted our evidence. The security footage was crucial. Showed her throwing things while I backed away, hands visible, trying to leave. But here's where it gets complicated. Rachel had photos. Bruises on her arms, her ribs, date stamped from 2 months ago. She'd submitted them with her restraining order application. I knew those bruises. She'd started this intense kickboxing class in January. Came home covered in bruises every week, proud of how hard she was working. I'd helped her ice them. She'd posted about them on social media, fitness journey, stronger every day. My lawyer pulled her social media archives. Most posts were deleted, but we found cached versions. Screenshots from friends who'd shared them. Her gym had photos on their Facebook page. Member spotlight, Rachel crushing it in our advanced sparring class. But until we could present that in court, I was the one with a restraining order against me. Couldn't go home, couldn't get my stuff. Staying on my brother's couch while paying half the rent on an apartment I couldn't enter. Then she escalated. Day 3 of the restraining order, my phone started blowing up. Friends, coworkers, family, everyone was getting messages from Rachel, not directly accusing me of anything actionable, just concern. I'm worried about Marcus. He's not himself lately. Has Marcus seemed angry to you? I'm concerned about his mental health. If Marcus reaches out, please let me know. I just want to make sure he's okay. Planting seeds. making people question me before I could tell my side. My boss called me in. Someone had sent an anonymous email with concerns about my stability. Mentioned I might be going through a difficult personal situation that could affect my work. Very carefully worded. Very Rachel. I showed him everything. The lawyer's documents, the therapist's voicemail, the footage. He believed me, but the damage was starting. The hearing was set for the following Monday. My lawyer was confident. We had evidence, witnesses lined up, a solid case. Sunday night, Rachel posted on Facebook. I never thought I'd be one of those women. The ones who stay too long, who make excuses, who blame themselves. But here I am, finally finding the courage to speak my truth. To those who've reached out with support, thank you. Your love means everything as I navigate this difficult time. To anyone else struggling, you deserve better. We all do. 1,847 likes. 289 comments. People I'd known for years commenting their support, calling her brave, offering help. I couldn't respond. Legally couldn't say anything that might be construed as violating the restraining order, even indirectly. So I just watched my reputation disintegrate in real time. But my lawyer? She was taking notes. This is good, she said. She's establishing a pattern of behavior, making public statements we can disprove. Let her keep talking. Easy for her to say. She wasn't watching her life implode. Monday's hearing came. I wore my only suit. Ironic that Rachel had helped me pick it out for a cousin's wedding last year. She showed up looking perfectly put together. Soft makeup, conservative dress, playing the victim perfectly. Had a support group with her. Friends I recognized, some I thought were my friends too. The judge reviewed both restraining order requests, looked at the evidence. The security footage was played. Rachel's lawyer tried to argue it was taken out of context, that it didn't show the months of psychological abuse that led to her breaking point. Then my lawyer played the therapist's voicemail. Rachel's face when Dr. Reeves' voice filled the courtroom. First time I'd seen her genuinely shocked. Her lawyer objected, argued about confidentiality, tried every angle. The judge considered carefully. While this is an unusual application of duty to warn, the judge said, the therapist clearly believed there was a credible threat of substantial harm through false allegations. I'll allow it. Then came the gym records, the social media archives, her own words, celebrating those bruises she'd tried to weaponize against me. The judge took a recess, 20 minutes that felt like hours. When he returned, the temporary restraining order against Mr. Chen is dissolved. The court finds sufficient evidence to grant Mr. Chen's request for a protective order. But that wasn't the end. Rachel's false police report claiming I'd caused those bruises was a problem. Not an immediate arrest problem, but my lawyer filed a complaint with the police department. They said they'd investigate, but these things take time. As we left the courthouse, Rachel tried to approach me. Her support group had melted away during the hearing. She looked smaller somehow. Marcus, please, can we just talk? My lawyer stepped between us. Miss Morrison, you're aware there's now a restraining order in effect? Please maintain the required distance. This is insane. Marcus, you know I love you. You know I would never actually. Ma'am, I need you to step back. She looked at me over my lawyer's shoulder. You're really going to let them do this to me? To us? I didn't answer. Couldn't. What do you say to someone who tried to destroy your life out of fear of losing you? But she wasn't done. Never is, really. Update 2. It's been a month since the hearing. Time for another update, and holy shit, you guys called it. Some of you said she'd escalate, that people like this don't just accept defeat. You were right. First week after the restraining order was quiet. Too quiet. I'd moved into a studio apartment. Couldn't afford much while still paying my half of the old place until the lease ended. Rachel had to move out too since she couldn't afford it alone. The landlord let me come with a police escort to get my stuff. Found something interesting, my old tablet, the one I thought I'd lost months ago, hidden in her closet, still logged into my social media accounts. She'd been monitoring everything for months. Then the packages started arriving at my office building. Day 1. A dozen roses delivered to the lobby. Card said, thinking of you R. Receptionist knew about the situation, refused delivery. Day 2, a photo album sent via UPS. Pictures of us from the last 3 years. Every page annotated with memories. Remember when you said you'd love me forever here. Day 3. Amazon packages. Books about saving relationships. All sent to the office lobby, not my desk. My lawyer filed everything as restraining order violations. The prosecutor said packages to the building lobby were a gray area. She wasn't directly contacting me or my workplace, just the building. Rachel was threading the needle. Then she got creative. See, the restraining order said she couldn't contact me directly or through third parties acting on her behalf. But it didn't say anything about her contacting people about legitimate business. She reached out to my mom. "Mrs. Chen, this is Rachel. I know things are complicated with Marcus and me, but I've been packing and found some family photos I think belong to you. From Marcus's childhood, I'd hate to throw them away." My mom, smart woman, called me immediately. She says she has baby pictures of you. What should I do? Tell her to mail them to your house, don't meet her. But Rachel had already thought of that. Oh, I would, but some are in frames with glass. I'd hate for them to break in shipping. My mom handled it perfectly. That's kind of you to worry. Please bubble wrap them well. I'll reimburse the shipping. Rachel tried others too. My aunt, my cousin, college friends, always with something plausible. I found some of his things. I have mail that came after he left. His prescription sunglasses were mixed with mine. Always careful, always just barely believable. But she messed up with my friend Derek. Derek and I have been friends since middle school. Gamed together every Thursday. He knew the whole story, had been one of my witnesses at the hearing, so when Rachel called him, he was ready. "Hey Derek, it's Rachel. I know things are weird right now, but I found Marcus's PlayStation controller at my place. The special edition one? Want me to drop it off to you to give to him?" Derek recorded the call. Single-party consent state, he'd checked. "Which controller? The blue one? With the custom buttons? Oh yeah, that one. Except Marcus has never owned a special edition controller, Rachel. He's been using the same basic black one for 3 years. Silence. I must be thinking of something else. No, you're trying to use me to violate a restraining order. I'm hanging up now and calling his lawyer." She tried to recover. "Derek, wait. I'm not trying to contact Marcus. I'm literally just trying to return." "Return something that doesn't exist? Come on, Rachel." Click. That recording was gold, showed clear intent to manipulate third parties to violate the order. My lawyer added it to our file. But the real shock came 2 weeks later. I got a call from the detective assigned to review my complaint about the false police report. They'd been investigating Rachel's claims, the bruise photos, the whole thing. "Mr. Chen, we need you to come in. We found something interesting." Turns out, this wasn't Rachel's first rodeo. They'd found a report from 2019. Different city, different guy, same pattern. Emotional abuse allegations, photos of bruises, restraining order attempt. Case dropped when the ex provided evidence the bruises were from her rock climbing hobby. Another from 2021. This time, she'd claimed psychological abuse, had recordings of arguments taken out of context. That ex had recordings, too, of her admitting she was building a case in case he ever tried to leave. The detective had reached out to both men. "She was perfect at first," one told them. "Then when I tried to end things, she lost it. Accused me of all sorts of shit. I almost lost my job." The other had it worse. She actually convinced people I had to move cities, start over. "Some people back home still think I'm an abuser." Pattern of behavior. Multiple false reports across jurisdictions. The detective was building a case, but warned me it would take time. Months, maybe a year. The DA would want it airtight. Then Rachel did something I didn't expect. She fired Dr. Reeves and found a new therapist. That therapist reached out to my lawyer. Apparently, Rachel had signed a release allowing limited communication about safety concerns. The new therapist couldn't share details, but could confirm Rachel had disclosed making exaggerated claims about me and wanted to make things right. Too little, too late. But it got more interesting. The therapist revealed that Rachel had been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder years ago. Had been in and out of treatment. The fear of abandonment, the manipulation, the splitting, seeing people as all good or all bad, classic presentation. Didn't excuse anything, but it explained a lot. Last week, I heard from the detective again. They were moving forward with charges. Not just for my case, they were looking at the pattern. Multiple jurisdictions were comparing notes. Her lawyer reached out to mine. Wanted to make a deal. She'd seek intensive treatment, would make a public statement clearing my name, would pay my legal fees. And in exchange, my lawyer asked, you don't pursue civil charges, you support a plea deal for mental health treatment instead of jail time. I thought about it. Really did. The money would help. I'd burned through my savings on legal fees and the new apartment. The public statement might salvage some friendships. But then I thought about her exes. The guy who had to move cities, the one whose family still doesn't talk to him. How many others who didn't have security footage or a therapist's warning? No deal, I told my lawyer. Let the criminal case play out. Maybe the next guy will have a paper trail to point to. She nodded. For what it's worth, I think you're doing the right thing. Rachel's family reached out last week. Her sister wanted me to know Rachel was finally getting help. Real help this time. Inpatient program specializing in personality disorders. She's sick, Marcus. Has been for a long time. We should have done something sooner. Maybe you should have, I said, not angry anymore. Just tired. But she made her choices. The family photos she mentioned to your mom, they're real. We found a box of your childhood pictures at her place. Should I mail them to you? I gave her my lawyer's address. Everything goes through her now. Those cameras I installed, still up in the new place. Probably always will be. Trust is funny that way. Easy to break, hard to rebuild. But I'm safe. The truth is documented. And maybe, just maybe, the paper trail we're creating will protect the next person who tries to leave her. That's something, I guess. Final update. Alright, last update. I know some of you have been DMing asking how things turned out. Figured I'd wrap this up since it's been a year and things have mostly settled. Mostly. First, the legal stuff. After 8 months of investigation across 3 jurisdictions, Rachel pled guilty to 2 counts of filing false police reports and 1 count of harassment. The other charges were dropped as part of the deal. She got 2 years probation, mandatory psychiatric treatment, and 200 hours of community service. No jail time, which some of you will probably have opinions about. The restraining order is permanent now. Well, 5 years, but might as well be permanent. The civil case, yeah, I ended up filing one. Not for the money, though the legal fees were killing me, but to get a formal judgment on record. She settled out of court. Can't discuss the amount, but it covered my legal fees and then some. More importantly, it's another public record of what she did. Her sister reached out once more about 6 months ago. Rachel was still in treatment, doing DBT, dialectical behavior therapy, taking it seriously this time. Wanted to write me a letter of apology as part of her treatment. I declined. Some bridges don't need rebuilding. Some apologies are more for the person giving them than receiving them. Work-wise, things recovered slowly. My boss had my back once the criminal charges became public record. HR put everything in my file, not as a mark against me, but as documentation in case any future issues arose. Most of my coworkers figured out what happened when the local news picked up the story. Yeah, that was fun. Local woman charged with false reports and pattern of abuse made the digital edition. Lost some friends through this. The ones who couldn't reconcile the Rachel they knew with what she did. The ones who thought there must be more to the story or that both sides probably did things wrong. That's fine. Showed me who my real friends were. The ones who stuck around? They're gold. Derek still games with me every Thursday. My brother and I are closer than ever. My parents still worry, but they've stopped asking if every woman I mention is a potential girlfriend. Dating? Yeah, that's been interesting. First date after everything settled was about 6 months ago. Coffee, public place, very casual. She was nice, normal, worked in IT. We were having a good conversation when she asked about my last relationship. It ended badly, didn't quite cover it. I gave her the abbreviated version. Her eyes got wider and wider. So, you have security cameras in your apartment? Yeah. And you screenshot conversations? The important ones. And you do background checks? I mean, doesn't everyone Google their dates now? She was nice about it, but there wasn't a second date. Can't blame her. But here's the thing, I'm not broken. Cautious? Sure. Trust issues? Absolutely. But I'm not sitting in my apartment, afraid of the world. I started therapy about 4 months after everything settled. Not because I thought I was damaged or anything, just needed to process. Understand how I missed the signs. Learn to trust my gut again without becoming paranoid. My therapist is great. No nonsense type. First session, she said, "You're not here to figure out what you did wrong. You're here to figure out how to move forward." We worked on recognizing red flags without seeing them everywhere, on setting boundaries without building walls, on trusting people while still protecting myself. It's working, slowly. I'm in a better apartment now. Still have cameras, but I don't check them obsessively anymore. Got a cat, found her at a shelter, skinny little thing with trust issues of her own. We're working on it together. Her name's Pseudo. And yes, I know it's supposed to be lowercase, I'm not changing it now, she already responds to it. Met someone a few months ago. Not on a dating app, through a hiking group my therapist recommended. Shared activities, she said. Less pressure than dinner dates. Her name's Amy. She's a teacher, loves bad sci-fi movies, makes terrible puns, knows my history. I told her on our third date, figured it was better to get it out there. That's intense, she said. Thanks for telling me. It's a lot, I know, if you want to. I had a stalker in college, she interrupted. Not the same thing, but I get the security cameras. I get the caution. I get why you told me. We're taking it slow, very slow, but it's good. She sends me memes about cats. I help her grade papers. We hike on weekends. Normal stuff. The funny thing? I'm actually grateful for some of what happened. Not the trauma or the legal bills or the lost friendships, but I learned things. I learned to trust my instincts. That feeling something's wrong isn't being paranoid. It's your subconscious picking up on patterns your conscious mind hasn't processed yet. I learned about boundaries. Real boundaries, not just saying yes to avoid conflict. I learned that love shouldn't feel like walking on eggshells. That I'd die without you isn't romantic, it's a threat wrapped in Valentine's paper. Her other exes, one reached out after seeing the news story. Just a simple email. Thank you. People finally believe me now. That hit harder than I expected. The other one's rebuilding too. Has a family now, moved back to his hometown, said the news coverage helped repair some relationships with people who'd believed Rachel's version. Dr. Reeves, still practicing, sent a card when the criminal case concluded. Just said glad you're safe with her signature. Professional to the end. People ask if I regret the relationship, if I wish I'd never met her. Some days, yeah. When I'm budgeting for therapy or explaining to someone new why I have trust issues. When I wake up from dreams where I'm back in that apartment, watching her mood shift like weather patterns. But most days, no. Because here's what I learned. People tell you who they are. Not always with words. Sometimes with actions, patterns, the spaces between what they say and what they do. Rachel told me, over and over. I just wasn't fluent in the language yet. Now I am. To everyone who reached out with support, thank you. To those who shared similar stories, I'm sorry you went through that, and I hope you're healing. To anyone reading this who sees their own relationship reflected here, document everything. Trust your gut. Get help. You deserve better than living in fear. And to the person who messaged asking if I ever feel bad for Rachel, yeah, sometimes. She's sick. Her brain literally doesn't process abandonment and attachment the way healthy brains do. That's tragic. But mental illness isn't a free pass to destroy people. It's an explanation, not an excuse. She had resources, family support, access to treatment. She chose manipulation instead. I hope she's getting better. I hope the treatment sticks this time. I hope she never does this to anyone else. But that's not my problem anymore. I'm gonna go pet my cat now, text Amy about our weekend hike, and enjoy my drama-free Friday night. That's the real victory, not the legal wins or the vindication. Just peaceful Friday nights, boring weekends, drama-free dinners, the luxury of normal problems. I'll take it. Peace out, Reddit. Edit. Since a lot of you are asking, yes, I kept the cameras, but I also got a smart doorbell and better locks. And yes, Amy thinks it's overkill, but she also admitted she sleeps better knowing they're there. We're both works in progress. Edit 2. To the person who DM'd asking if I'm over it, I don't think you ever fully get over something like this. You just learn to carry it better. Like an old injury that aches when it rains. You adapt. Edit 3. Holy shit. Gold? Thanks, kind stranger. Putting it toward my eventual therapy graduation party fund. Yes, that's a thing I'm planning. My therapist laughed when I told her, but I'm serious. Gotta celebrate the wins, you know?